Hello, everybody, and welcome back to My Hero Academia podcast. It's a very special podcast where me and my good buddy Rising Sun talk about My Hero
Kill la
Academia.
Kill. Oh wait, this is my hero. I thought it was Kill la Kill.
No,
Well, I
no.
got some notes mixed up, so this is going to sound extremely weird when I read from them.
Oh dang. Yeah, we don't talk about animes that are almost 10 years old. Can you believe that?
Oh yes,
It's almost 10
yes.
years old at this point.
Holy crap! I'm getting old.
Tell me about it. Aren't we all?
Yes.
Oh man.
But despite getting old, we still love the classic shonen formula that My Hero Academia has.
That's correct. Oh my goodness. And into
I planned that segue.
very good. Very good segue. So, when it comes to this episode, we didn't get a recap. It was more of an actual traditional episode.
Yes, and we have lots of things happening like I thought they would, even though I'm kind of confused about stuff.
Yeah. So, we find out that Hawks is he's not a bad guy. He's a double agent.
Yeah, which it looks like they're going to go in some interesting directions with that. I'm kind of surprised the League of Villains seems to be believing him, but at the same time, they don't fully trust him yet.
Yeah, and I think it's because of his, I don't know, his attitude of his non-caring kind of just like, whatever.
Yeah. Do we know what his long-term goal is? Because I feel like they hinted he has something and that's all he cares about, but we don't know what it is, or maybe I missed something.
As far as I know, he's gonna infiltrate the League of Villains, and if anything happens with, I don't know, I think it's more just to kind of keep tabs if they plan to do something like maybe bring back All for One.
Well, no, I thought that they were doing something Hawks had a long-term goal, why he wanted to be a hero.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they hinted at that, but I don't know if they said what it was.
I don't even really know. It did kind of show flashbacks of when he was a kid and how he kind of
Yeah.
took after Endeavor, like he was his hero. But I don't think it really said too much as far as what his end goal was. So that I do not know.
Yes, I think that's we'll explore more and how that's motivating him to do what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he almost kind of seems like he feels really bad about it too because he's hiding all this stuff from Endeavor. He's just
Yeah, and it's definitely interesting because he's taken this role because he's the person who is okay not helping all the people in front of him if it's better for the long term.
exactly. He and when I say he, I mean Endeavor got a wicked scar at the end of the battle with that Nomu.
Yeah, which I was surprised it was that bad of a scar.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's to kind of show not only his changing as a character himself, but he kind of mirrors Todoroki now as far as his
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, it also just shows how powerful this Nomu is. The Nomu was stronger than the world's greatest hero because
Right.
Endeavor could not have won without Hawks.
Right. He couldn't have won without Hawks, and he had to literally just pull out all the stops and I think just go all out in order to even defeat that Nomu. And yeah, it took everything out of him.
Yeah, so that's they can make Nomu that strong. That means that the League of Villains could be extremely powerful if they make 5 Nomus like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun,
Yeah,
especially when they decide to drop all the Nomus on everybody again.
right. And then Endeavor won't be enough. I'm sure the kids will help, but even they'd be overwhelmed if Endeavor can't even beat them.
Right. So we have the scene. I guess you could say it's kind of a flashback where it was Dobby, and
Yeah,
he was literally just chatting it up with. Well, he wanted to say a few things to Endeavor, but he's like, "Well, we're gonna have time to do this some other time." And then that's when I don't know her name, but she's the bunny superhero. that everyone on the line loves.
Because of course they do. I think she was probably introducing like Endeavor's episodes at the end of last season. Though that was like I watched those a year ago, so I forgot them.
Yeah, I don't remember her name either. I'll just call her Bunny Hero.
Can we call her Bunny Girl Senpai?
No, definitely not. No, that's a different show entirely. But
I know that's why we're gonna call her that.
how about Bunny Girl, like just Bunny Girl Super Kick? Because she seems to be really powerful with her legs.
How about Momiji?
Mo- Is that her name?
No, that's the Fruits Basket character who is also the bunny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And yes, I have caught up with Fruits Baskets. I may
Okay,
be
nice.
I may be a little bad with the names, but okay, that's the one who's like German, half
Yes,
Japanese. Yeah.
the little German boy. Yes.
Yeah. I am your little German boy. Yes. I remember. He's a good character. I didn't know what to
Yeah.
make of him at first, but then anyway, talking about Fruits Basket. Back to My
Yeah.
Hero
Then after the
Academia.
podcast, I go see.
Yes, that should be coming soon back to your channel, yes?
See Tactics channel, but yes, it's. I don't know if we're doing one this week or next week, or I should figure that out after this podcast. I'll figure that one out.
Cool. Now that we got those priorities out of the way. um
And take a
uh
distraction again.
yeah, I know. It happens to me quite a bit. I get to like, ooh, look, I'm like that dog from Up. Squirrel.
Exactly.
But so after all that, Dobby kind of like leaves. Hawks and Dobby kind of have like a dialogue between what they were planning to do. Dobby was like, "You didn't tell me you were going to bring the number one hero. You said he was going to be a strong guy. You didn't tell me he was going to be the number one." And then Hawks
Yeah.
was like, "Well, you didn't tell me you were going to bring a Nomu that was like that powerful."
Right. Yeah,
So,
so it's definitely interesting. Like Dobby and Hawks don't fully trust each other, obviously. And, like there's the tension there.
oh yeah. Yeah, apparently Dobby bleeds out of his, I don't know,
The
little
stitching, or
like I what
it
is
looks like it's like
what
it
is
looks like a
Dobby's
skin
quirk?
graft or something. Fire.
It is fire? But
Yeah, he has like pieces of blue fire.
yeah, but I've always noticed that he's had these stitches all over his face and I don't know what that pertains to. Like,
Well, it looks like there's like a skin graft, so maybe like his fire ended up like burning him really badly, so he needed that.
right,
Or
maybe he just needed to just okay, maybe. Maybe those are his permanent scars and he just borrowed people's skin to keep on his
yeah, it could
face.
be. Yeah, it's also another interesting motif of scars. Like so many characters have scars now, and they're so fundamental to the story and the characters.
That is really interesting. That's true.
Yeah, because
Even now,
we have like
Endeavor has
Deku's
it.
on his hands. Yeah, Endeavor has it. Dobby has it, and Dobby looks like he'll be a key character this season.
Yeah, he seems to be like he's going to be the main villain.
Right.
He bleeds out of his skin grafts.
Uh huh.
Oh, but so they went ahead and they set that up, but then shortly after we got Endeavor kind of reuniting back with his family.
Yeah, that part I think was the most interesting part of the episode. Just to see how all of his kids feel about him, how they might kind of want him back, but they still hold grudges, and can they like overcome those and all that?
Yeah,
And the conflicting nature. They see Endeavor as the hero who saved people, but he's also the Endeavor who made their lives terrible.
right. And I like the fact how, you know, Endeavor, without really saying he was sorry, he was just kind of like, I want to be more in your guys' life again. And, you got your teenagers and they're going to be like, you're not my real dad. And they're just going to storm out like Todoroki's brother did.
Yeah,
But I think that overall, I really do think he means it because he did have different visions and different goals at the very beginning a long time ago, like whenever the show started, and you could tell he was like he's a way different person now than he was back in season one.
yeah, and I just think there's been so much growth with his character, and like, well, I think it's really fascinating. He is the world's greatest hero, but he's also done terrible things. And it's
Yeah,
like neither one of those can't like makes the other one not true.
exactly. Yeah, he just straight up just was like, I think I like Todoroki's answer at the end where he's like, yeah, I don't necessarily forgive you and I still hold a grudge against you, but I want to make it work because you're my dad,
Yeah, and
which
it
I
shows
thought
in a
was
way.
nice.
Yeah, and it makes sense too. After all Todoroki's been through, it's not like forgiving him is just something he can instantly do.
Right. Right, right. You can't just be like, "Oh, well, you constantly wanted me to do this when I was a kid and shun me from everybody and not want to be
Yeah,
with my brother and sister." Yeah, okay, I forgive you. Let's hug it out, Dad.
yeah, it's not that simple, and I think that's one of the great things the show is doing is showing that none of this is simple.
Right, right. And I don't know if that's going to lead up to maybe future heartbreaks within Denver and family, but it definitely shows that he's willing to try again and to not. He wants to prove to them that he's better now and he's not
Yeah,
that person anymore.
yeah. So hopefully over time he can build that, and I'm glad it's not an instant thing either because I feel that would be disrespecting to or disrespectful for what he's done and what other real life people have gone through.
Right. Exactly. So then we had that, and then I think we got the last part of the show, which was a story. Well, not. I guess you could say it was a story, but it kind of left off at the last episode of season 4. What happened after the credits? Deku, he had a dream about I think it was the past users of all for of one for all.
Of one, yeah,
I always get those confused because they sound similar.
it's very different, but
Yeah,
and
but
there's a lot of interesting, like, thematic stuff going on there too, which I think is really cool.
yeah, because you saw all the different users, which one of them looked just like Hellboy. I don't know if you saw that. Like,
I don't think I picked up on that, but yeah.
yeah, I have one of the pictures. I think once it like scrolls through, but one of them in red looks just like Hellboy in the face, and I'm just like, was Hellboy a person that had all one for all? That's I can't see that, but okay.
I feel like it's just the mangaka, like, taking inspiration from a lot of different other, like, stories about heroes.
Yeah, I think
It
so
actually would
too.
be cool if, like, he could if, like, all the, inspirations were, like, some other or some other big hero and showing, like, how his story is building upon all the others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think what I understood from that dream sequence, it almost seemed as if the original users of All for One and One for All were were brothers.
Yeah,
And
I feel like that's something we already knew, though.
I mean, I don't think I knew that, but I mean, if it was, I probably wasn't paying attention.
I feel like that was revealed, like, a long time ago, and at least for me, I don't feel like anything in this dream sequence was something we did not already know. It was like fleshing it out more and showing more the dynamic of what the original All for One was doing. Though, yeah, I think the All for One is the same person as it was back then.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, from does that mean that the older brother who had All for One, he gave his younger brother that power of One for All?
I, if I remember right from the when we first learned about it, that was the one power that the One for All guy had
Mm-hmm.
was being able to pass on quirk. Though he didn't realize it until he was given another quirk from All for One.
That's crazy. So,
So so the passing it on was original, but any quirk on top of that was given, from All for One.
hmm, interesting.
So yeah, so we don't know what that original quirk or what the second quirk he was given was.
Okay, and
So
you know what I'm saying. That's about all we know. Then Deku, I guess, has a conversation with him for a little bit, reaches out his hand, and then glass breaks, and he just wakes up
yeah.
with his quirk kind of going crazy.
Yeah, which So this makes me wonder, what is Deku's quirk? Because it's like Wong for Wong, obviously, it's a power that's being passed on, but there has to be like some sort of strength behind it. It's not just because otherwise you're passing down nothing.
True. So
So
does
was
ouch. So does that mean
so
that he has like more than just the ability to like punch people really hard?
I feel like the answer is yes, but over the generations, the knowledge of that quirk has been lost for whatever reason. So,
Ooh.
well, this is my theory. And so we're about to find out what that quirk actually is with the original One for All telling Deku.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
So yeah, because otherwise just a super strength that could be it. But I feel like they're doing something more here.
Mm-hmm. I guess it is possible. Well, we won't know until
Yeah,
until I guess the next episode because are you a person that watches previews after the episode's over or no?
sometimes.
Yeah. I tend not to just because I feel like we have to wait a whole week before we have to watch it. So if I watch the preview and it looks like really awesome, then I'm just kind of like pissed off the rest of the day, just going, "Oh, I have to wait a week, and
Yeah, right.
oh, that looks so cool. I want to see what's happening."
Yeah, so that could be too. Also, going back to my theory, I wonder if one of the other holders of One for All had the super strength and then it was like passed down from them, continuing.
That is an interesting theory.
Yeah, and if maybe the reason that the other quirk was lost is because whoever is passed it like couldn't figure it out, so they just relied on their super strength.
Right.
And so when they passed it on to the next person, they did not tell them about the other one.
It's like, oh, by the way, you can fly and you have X-ray vision. You basically have all the powers of Superman, and you didn't even know.
Yeah, so I'm also wondering like why is this resounding so much for Deku? But we also saw like for All Might, he figured out One for All like pretty much instantly with the super strength and all that. Well, it was a lot harder for Deku.
Yeah, I
So
think it
it could
goes.
be like
I think it's like you said. Like it's basically the one who passed down the power to All Might. I think they just figured it was just like a really strong power. Like, oh, you just really strong punches, really strong kicks.
yeah, and like that's easy to figure out.
Yeah,
And or like for All Might, that just like clicked for him because that's his personality. Well, for
right.
Deku, it was like a lot harder to do. And it's
Exactly.
like might be why All Might has so much trouble teaching Deku because it was all like natural for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just do this and you punch them and then you win.
So we find out that Deku is now, I guess, at 20% capable as far as like his full power is concerned. So he's 1/5 of All Might now.
Well, he might actually be even stronger than All Might at 100% because it's like gone another generation.
That is true. Didn't
And
he
plus,
already go 100% whenever he like fused with that, not fused, but you know what I mean, like the little girl was lending him the power so that he could go all out and just destroyed overhaul.
it might be, or it could be like Deku is now at 20% and he's like stable at that capability, while before he'd only do 10%. Because he
Hmm.
can do 100%, it just destroys his body in the process.
Yeah, exactly, and he hasn't done that in a while. It's been a while since he's broken all of his limbs and all that.
Yeah.
I think he's learned not to do that because he's got permanent scars, and I think he looks down and says, "All right, well, if I keep doing this, this is gonna happen to me. I should
Yeah,
probably
I think
stop."
yeah, because like after the Todoroki battle, like he was hurt really badly there. He learned that if he did it again, he might not be able to be healed afterwards.
Mm-hmm. With with healing girl, and all she does is
Yeah,
kiss people.
the author had to have a ton of fun coming up with some of these characters.
Oh man, It's- I tell you, and she's like older. She's like a granny's age, and she's still
Yeah, she
called
is.
kissing girl instead of like kissing woman or something, or healing girl, healing woman.
Yeah, but it's like she probably named that as like a teenager, 20-year-old.
Right. Yeah, like 100 years ago when she was younger, it was probably like, "Ooh, healing girl, give me kisses." Now it's just like, "Oh, she's giving me
And
kisses."
now, 60 years later,
Ah. Yeah, that's funny. Um, So I guess with all of this and all that we know, I think we can assume that the rest of the season's going to be a mixture of finding out the origins, more of the origins of One for All, and
Right.
also the the school stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the
That's as
school
far as I
stuff.
know.
Well, we also have the stuff with Endeavor and Hawks and
Right.
Endeavor's family. So they'll be it's like they're going in 3 different directions at once, which I think is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Yeah.
like, less straightforward than the other arcs where, like, from the beginning of the arc, you knew exactly where it was going to go. But I
Right.
guess not all of them were that way.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like the first couple of seasons you kind of needed that straightforward storytelling just
Yeah.
to kind of get fans hooked, and now that fans pretty much know all these characters and what they do, it's all right. Now we can start telling layer upon layer multiple stories. You got your A plot, B plot, C plot, all going at these different directions, and
Yeah. Well, like,
I
the
like that.
overhaul arc is yeah, the overhaul arc was, like, really straightforward. There's just, like the question was what characters would get focused and how. And there are a couple surprises for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the school festival arc's pretty straightforward. There's some surprises. Yes, I'm excited for, like, a more complicated story here.
Me too. I have yet to see. I have yet to see the rest of the League of Villains. We've only seen Dabby, and
Yeah, this season at least.
yeah, right, this season, and I want to know where they're going to be coming out of. I definitely think it's going to be insane. They have a Nomu that's powerful enough to take on the number one superhero and like bring him to the point of to where he hurts himself. Like what
Yeah.
else? What are they planning on doing? It's probably going to happen when you least expect it because I swear to God, when it comes to UA high school, all these monsters just happen to just be popping out whenever they're doing tests. You know what I mean? Oh, where'd you go?
Yep, so
Oh, I'm
oh, yeah,
sorry.
I'm here.
Oh, sorry. I thought you dropped off or something. I was like, all
Oh,
right, next topic.
I've had that happen a couple of times in doing a podcast. I'll see, like, he'll drop off and I'm like, okay, I have to do this by myself. I don't even want to bounce off of. Okay, time for crazy conspiracy theories.
Right.
Oh, one thing I did find really interesting about the backstory with One for All and All for One is how All for One like inspires his followers and like got them to do the stuff he wanted without like directly being involved. And I think that's
Yeah.
just really fascinating and a really interesting villain too.
Yeah. He literally gave these two people. He said, "This guy, he's he wanted to basically just kind of like have his fangs removed, even though I guess people found him scary." And then
Yeah,
the other dude was like, he didn't have any kind of quirk,
he wanted
but
something to like fight with.
right, exactly. And both of them just without even hesitating were just like, "Yep, give it to me." so, so yeah, I thought that was very interesting too, just how plain and just he's not forcing people to do it. He's
Yeah, he's like
literally just
just giving
saying,
them what they want.
right. He's a polite villain.
Yeah, in a way, that's really scary too. Like I could think of some real world comparisons. How it's like it doesn't take a villain to like, or a villain can drive people into action without directly doing anything.
Huh. That is a crazy thought. But yeah, that's very true and reminiscent to those characters right
Yeah.
now.
So yeah, there are some other comparisons I can make, but I think I want to see like where this goes more before I make those.
Agreed. And
Plus, I might. Plus, I didn't want to say controversial things on this video that would get 80,000 dislikes.
right, because because people will be swarming in with the dislikes over here at my channel.
Mm. Yes.
But anywho, uh I think that's pretty much it as far as like what we covered on this particular episode. I mean, there was a lot, but at the same time it wasn't like I don't know, it wasn't like a whole lot. You know what I mean? It
It
was
was like
all
a lot of. It was a lot of setup.
right, pretty much
Which,
everything's set up right now.
yeah, which is fine. It's like episode 2 of the season, first real episode. So that's how it should be.
Mhm. Right. And there's nothing wrong with a little setup because eventually it's going to lead up to an interesting arc, whether it be Class A versus Class B, or the League of Villains is going to come out of nowhere and start messing stuff up. I personally think it's going to be in traditional My Hero Academia style. You know, there's going to be a test or something going on, and then the League of Villains will strike.
Yeah, that seems to be how these go. That'll be interesting, I'm sure. I do
Yeah.
hope they'll like tie in the Endeavor and Todoroki's relationship with him, like somehow tie that into the main villain story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's where they could do some really interesting storytelling and make it like multi-layered with Todoroki trying to come to grips with what's going on with his father, maybe helping to save Endeavor if Endeavor's overwhelmed by Nomu, or Endeavor coming to save Todoroki if the opposite happens.
Right. I don't. I hope that there's no unexpected deaths this particular season either, because that would be completely sad.
Yeah, that would be. And I don't feel like, well, like I feel like Endeavor's safe, like story wise, because he's like been established as the new hero, and we need like see his story. And I feel like him dying would like cheapen his redemption.
Right. I almost feel like All Might is the one that would be the one. If anyone was to die, it would be him, just because he doesn't have his powers anymore, and I could see him do like a sacrificial type thing where he just
Yeah.
with
We also have
powerless does something.
we also have his power or his arc like started last season of him not wanting to die. Like before he thought that he would be killed by All for One, but now that he lived, he wants to continue living
Yeah.
and like continuing to make a difference as much as he can. I feel like if a character dies, Hawks might be the one that's killed.
Yeah. His would be the more obvious. Like, I think he thinks that he's warmed up to the League of Villains, and the League of Villains are like happy with him. Then just out of nowhere, Dabby or somebody just snaps his neck or something. You think we would
Yeah.
have trusted you? I could totally see that.
Yeah, because I feel like that could work. It could also tie into what his story is. Like he's trying to get what he wants, but he like fails or he gets it. So he's like, he's admitted he's like he has nothing else to fight for. So
Yeah, crazy. But
yeah, definitely.
I guess we shall have to wait for the next episode, which I think it'll further explain more of Deku's power, and then from there I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to next week to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we will definitely see and hopefully be excited and have fun. And we'll be back next Sunday to talk about it.
Yeah, we should do next Sunday. Hopefully there'll be no more holidays coming up on the weekends.
Yeah. They're in like 3 weeks. I'm going to be on vacation, so that will make a podcast hard.
Boom. All right.
Or maybe I'll like do the podcast on a vacation and force my friends to be part of it.
Right. Or I don't know. We could just do a 3-for-1 episode. Just do 3 episodes back to back to back. All in one
like
episode.
3 weeks. And I'll only be out for a week, so.
Oh, okay.
That'll be 2 for 1.
2 for 1 then. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Well, next week we shall be back on Sunday at probably around the same time, maybe even closer to like 5-ish. I don't know.
We'll find out.
We shall find out indeed. But my man Rising Sun, I have his link to his channel in the description below this time. Last week I didn't. I apologize, but now I do. So now if people are interested, they want to follow this man, please do, because he's an awesome kind of fella. All right. Well, I will. No problem. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week, and until then.